Check, check. Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to Part-Time Adult. Thanks for tuning in. I hope you're doing well. Today, I want to talk about this crypto academy that is being brought to Marcy Housing Projects in Brooklyn, where Jay-Z grew up. And this is a partnership between Jay and Jack Dorsey, co-founded Twitter, and some other Bitcoin educators. And I just want to talk about it. A lot of people are talking about it. They're talking about the pros and the cons, and I got 2 cents to give, so why not? It hasn't been met by most people with, I guess, the enthusiasm that some people might have expected, and I'm not bashing or anything like that at all. I think the idea is good, but I have some other questions, and I'm all for financial literacy. I myself am not a financial advisor, got to throw that out there, but I have taught money basics to thousands of young adults in LA and a few in Austin, but mostly LA, to be honest. And so I have a passion for it. And I think, education is for everybody. It may not be in the form of college or, certain things like that for some people, but education in general. So I think it's a good thing. However, this course focuses heavily on crypto, and it's kind of like the buzzword, the sexy word. It's like, hey, it's called Bitcoin Academy. Even though they said that they're going to talk about personal finance, which could be all types of stuff, but the hook is the Bitcoin, because that's the big flashy thing. However, when you look at the time that we're in, Bitcoin is on fire, and not in a good way, right? Bitcoin has dropped, I think, like 40,000 or something like that. I can't remember, but it's doing really, really bad. And it's obviously, we're still in the cocoa. So that's still a thing. And people are losing jobs. There's layoffs all over the place. Gas prices, obviously high. I believe they're about $4.70, $4.80 in Brooklyn right now. Everything is up. Inflation. It sucks. So you got to ask yourself, is this a good time for this? I don't know. Some people are going to be interested. Many aren't. Plus, also, when you think of Marcy, you think of Jay-Z. You think Jay-Z, you think Marcy. And, that part makes sense, right? I'm going to take it to the hood where I grew up at, which makes total sense. But also, you got to look who's there. And what do they need? Do they need a class on Bitcoin right now? In 2022, when Bitcoin is here and gas prices are there and inflation is here. So it seemed like something that maybe, and again, I'm just offering my 2 cents. I'm not bashing. I'm just appointing myself as a consultant on this project. I'm hiring myself to just ask some questions before we get this ball rolling, right? And I pray that it's a success. I really do, because I think that it's important to learn about this kind of stuff, but also it's like, crypto is complex. It's not just like, hey, let's just learn this stuff when the entire world is just in a really rough spot right now. So maybe we ask a few more questions. Okay, so who lives in Marcy? What's the demographic? What do they need? What do they know? What do they know? Because I'll tell you this. I've taught financial basics to folks as young as 14 all the way to 25, 26. And I've taught kids in high school, and I've taught kids in college. I've even had conversations with full-blown adult professionals who don't know anything about investing. And I mean professionals. They are suit and tie, got degrees, and they know about what they know, but it's not investing. So it's you kind of got to see, you got to throw some feelers out there, see what people need. So a lot of people aren't ready for something like this. I'll be honest. Even though I may teach some money basics, I can't really explain crypto like that. I own a little bit, but for me to be here and try to tell you about it and just be whoop-de-woo, and this is, I'm not that guy. I just know that I own some, and I am in a place financially, not to say that I'm rich, because trust me, I'm not. But I'm in a place where I can afford to lose this money should things go wrong. So that's one of the first things you have to learn if you plan on getting into investing, is that it's a gamble. It's a gamble. Now there are certain stocks and certain, mutual funds and things like that long term, cool. You could hold. You could take those little dips and all that because you're planning on, if Microsoft has a bad day next year, next month, 10 years from now, most likely it's going to be up. It's going to grow in value. But for the people who live in Marcy, or if you just take New York City public housing in general, I believe the average income is 24 grand, which is not a lot of money. And New York is expensive. It's expensive. So it's like, what do we need right now? Also, when you're trying to get people to go to learn something, it's not always the easiest thing to do, to get somebody to, maybe you're trying to go after, you're going after the kids, right? Because they have like a kids camp and all that stuff. A lot of kids don't want to go back to school after finishing a year at school. So the timing could be like, when do we do it? Do we do it during the school year? Who knows? So we're just asking questions, right? We're just in the I guess we're doing some research. When would be a good time to do it? Again, not bashing. I'm a fan of the class, but it's like the execution. Maybe we're going about it the wrong way. It's like, are we running the right type of offense for this? It's 4th and 19. Should we run it up the middle? If you're trying to score, maybe not. Depending on the team that you're playing, because there's some teams that you'll definitely get 19 yards running up the middle. We won't mention any universities that I am a big fan of 2 years ago against North Carolina, but we're going to get better. So it's just like, is this the right time? Is this the right play? Because it could be something that, just that these guys are just lending their names to because, Jay-Z is a big, shiny name. Jack Dorsey is a big, shiny name. Jack Dorsey to some folks, maybe not, might be well known around Marcy, but Jay is definitely known around Marcy. And also some people, they may just not really care that it's Jay because he did grow up in Marcy. So people they may be used to seeing him already. Though if I were Jay, I would want to continue to do things for Marcy. So again, I'm not mad. But also, when you're trying to teach, there's some, like I said, some of these kids, they're just finishing school. Where are they in a mood to learn? So you gotta sell this thing, baby. You gotta sell it, baby. You gotta sell the steak. It's a sizzle, because there was a picture online, and I don't know how these ended there, but there was some flyers just like thrown on the floor, and that could have been a whack street team, or that could have been somebody who lived at the apartment, who maybe they just left a stack and they just like whatever. Maybe the wind blew, I don't know, and they ended up on the floor. So it didn't look like it was promoted all that well, but who knows? I'm not in Brooklyn, never been to Marcy. I'm just paying attention to what I'm seeing. But I remember the desire to learn for me was probably bigger when I was in college than when I was in high school. Because when I was in high school, elementary school, like I was there because I had to be there. I had to be in high school. And when I was in college, I went because I wanted to go. So it's a bit different there's a bit of a difference in the mind state of people depending on where they are in life, where they are in just on their journey. The desire to sit at a desk or take an online class for a 12-year-old and a 22-year-old might be two different things. Also they may have different levels of income and stuff like that, right? Also, like, crypto is not the easiest thing to explain. So you also got to think of who am I explaining it to? Like I said, I can't really explain it. I just own some of it, but I'm not really sure. Like, you talk about the blockchain and the smart contracts and all this, and then, the subject of NFT is going to come up, and what's a non-fungible token? What does the word fungible even mean? Is it it's just, there's a lot of just this new stuff coming from all angles, so it can be a bit overwhelming. And it's like somebody coming up to you and say, hey, I'm going to teach you how to drive the cars, like how they did in Fast and Furious, like in Tokyo Drift, where they would just drift the cars and they were sliding around the track and you pop the clutch and all that stuff. And it's like, dude, I don't have a license. And two, I don't know how to drive a car, period. Like, can you just teach me like the basics on how to drive a car first, like before we start slipping and sliding? So it's more of ask yourself, what do these people need? If you're really about helping, which I think Jay is, to be honest. I know in the past he's done the turkeys and the gifts and all that stuff, which is that's pretty standard. But I know he has the foundation, and he's given scholarships and all that. So I'm appreciative of that. And I actually know somebody who won a scholarship from his foundation. Somebody, I think it may have been for people who were in foster care or first generation college students. I don't remember, but this was a long time ago. This was maybe like 10 years ago, maybe, if that long. I don't know if it was that long, but it was several years back. And I told a friend of mine, I said, hey, check this out. And she applied for it and she got it. I think it was like $2,000 or something like that. So I think that type of thing is dope. But, it's just more of like figuring out what do they need. Because like if I'm super thirsty, I'm dying of thirst. I'm in the middle of the desert. And I see you have a cup, and I'm just like, oh my God, oh my goodness, please. And you give it to me, and I drink it, and you give me a shot of vodka, and it's like, no, like, thank you, I guess, but no, water, I need water, don't give me no vodka, maybe later, I don't know, no, seriously, like, water. It's like, if I'm starving, and you hand me a cracker with some $100 caviar on it, and be like, here you go. Like, oh, wow, thank you. I really appreciate it because, because Jay doesn't have to give. Like, I'm not one of those, like, people are obligated. I mean, I'm all for it. Don't get me wrong. Like, if I got it, like, I'm all down for charity and stuff. So Jay doesn't have to, I'm not into spending other people's money. But it's like, if you want to feed me, like the $100 caviar on the cracker, that's cool, but like a $2 sandwich would have hit so much better. Like a bowl of rice, just plain white rice, would have hit so much better. But I'll take what you can give me. So I'm not complaining too much, but I think that there's just some other approaches that could have been taken. And when you think of just where crypto is right now, like you look at Coinbase. Like Coinbase just laid off like 18% of their staff, which is just crazy, because when the stock came out, people were just like Coinbase, and I'm not gonna lie, like I wanted to buy just like all the stock that I could afford. I ended up not buying any, but it's sad to see. It's just people are really hurting. And it's still nice to give any way you can, but sometimes it's just like, you think you won't. You give people what you want them to have versus what they want or what they need. I remember back in the day when I was in college one time, I made some food. I had a bunch of food that I had made, and I went up to like this homeless family. They were living in their car, and it was like spaghetti or something like that. And I'm thinking, I'm going to do this great thing, and I went up to them, and I had a ton of it, and I knock on the door, and I say, I got some food. And she's like, what is it? And I said, spaghetti. She's like, nah. Like, she was good. I was like, I was at a loss for words. I was like, oh my goodness. Like, what do you mean? Like, you're living in your car? But she was like, nah, I'm good. I didn't force it. I was like, I'm just going through these thoughts in my head. But I was like, yo, like, I've never, like, that was a first for me. You know what I'm saying? So it is what it is. But what I am doing with this video is, like I said, I'm appointing myself a consultant on this project. So some things that I would have done differently. One, I would not have started at Marcy. Just not. It seems, when you think of Marcy, you think of Jay, you think of Marcy. It's synonymous. So like you think Nas, you think Queensbridge. It is what it is. So I get it. That seems kind of easy. Just go to where I grew up at. But I would have taken it to a place where was already kind of built for learning, at least the first go around. I'm not saying I wouldn't bring it to Marcy ever, but I wouldn't start there. If I were going to bring some stuff to Marcy, if it was like a financial literacy class, it would be starting at the beginning. Like we'll get to crypto later. First we'll start off with some banking stuff, with interest rate, how to transfer money from this account to that account, different apps and stuff like that. So I would start off with some basic stuff, and then maybe later on that, maybe the third or fourth course, maybe that's when we get into crypto, you know. So I would start off slow, but I would have actually taken it to Kingsborough Community College, which is about 10 miles away. You might be thinking to yourself, well, that takes it outside of Marcy. Again, we're not starting in Marcy. We are starting in Brooklyn, though, so that's one thing. Kings Community College, I believe there's about 10,000 students. Congratulations to all the graduates out there. Regardless of whether you're Kingsborough, whatever school you're at, congratulations. You're in trade school, you're in high school, you're in middle school, wherever you're at, congratulations if you made it through. Salute. So I would have taken it to Kingsborough Community College, find an empty room, and they have it 2 nights a week, I believe, and they're providing food, and there's some online stuff. And I know that this is possible because I did this. Now, when I say I did this, I didn't like create this class or anything, but when I was in LA, I used to work at a nonprofit, and we used to teach life skills at community colleges as a part of a curriculum that was for foster youth and youth who were in like the juvenile justice system and all that. So this is not like I'm not inventing this. I wish I was, but you can talk to some people, find out, hey, when is this classroom available? And I would, give them a certificate. You can even negotiate if it can it count for a college credit? Who knows? I don't know. Can it count for 2? Who knows? But, you give them these incentives, and you allow students at the college to be the first ones to do it. And again, you could maybe start with crypto with this particular group, but I would still not make crypto the headliner of the show. It would be like intro to finance, some basics, and then later down the line it would be Bitcoin. I get it because like Bitcoin, what's it called, a Bitcoin plug or Bitcoin billionaire or Black Bitcoin billionaire. I think is the people who are doing the teaching. So you got to highlight them. I get that, but bring somebody in from Chase. Bring somebody in from a credit union. Bring somebody in from NEFI, the National Endowment for Financial Education. I believe that's what it's called. I got their curriculum years ago from a credit union. So there's a bunch of stuff. I mean, so many ways you can attack this. And again, go to the college, find a room. If it's on the weekend, you can do it on the weekend. I've taught on the weekends too, and I've taught 8-hour days on the weekends. So it's completely doable, and we killed it. Oh, my team, not my team. I was a part of a team, but my team, the team that I was on, we were so dope. And people across the country were like, "Yo, those guys in LA," because we were working in conjunction with NYU. So yeah, so good stuff. That's my background, and we just did a lot of good work. So what I'm telling you is not something that can't be done. You can give certificates, give gift cards when they graduate or whatever. You could provide transportation. So what I would do is keep it simple. You can get a van or a few vans or whatever, a bus or whatever. You could provide, transportation, the cards, and you go from Marcy to the school and back. The bus leaves at 5, and then it leaves after class, and we're going straight up and down. We're going down Nostrand Ave. We're making that right, and we're making a left on Bedford, and that's it. We're just going up and down. There is no, can you drop me off at my auntie house in Canarsie? No. Hey, I'll get off of work at Red Hook. Can you come pick me up at Red Hook? No, we are going Nostrand, Bedford. Nostrand, we're making that right. There's a Farragut, I think. And we're making a left on Bedford, and that's it. There is no alternate routes. If you can't make it, hey, sorry for you this time. Get you on the next one. Just be prepared for it, because it can be, because you know how humans are. You give them an inch, they take a mile. I've been there, and it's guaranteed to happen. And there's other things that you can do beside this class. Like, let's say like we want to hold off on this class for now. We can provide stuff just to help people out. You could do $50 gas cards every month. Every apartment in Marcy. Every apartment. Let's do some math. So Marcy has about 1,700 apartments. Let's say we give a $50 gas card every month. No class, no crypto, no nothing. We're just doing this just to help out. Just because we're in a generous mood and we're billionaires and we want to do something, it'll be noteworthy and yada yada. So we have 1,700 apartments times $50. That's 85,000. 85,000 every month, just on gas cards, right? Now you could add more stuff. You could add $50 gas cards, $50 groceries, $50 for whatever, or you could just do $150 a month. Partner up with Visa or MasterCard or whoever, a certain bank, right? Give them $150 a month, and you're using names like the Bitcoin billionaire and the Bitcoin crypto plug or whatever it's called. So you're using language that, you're trying to hook the young people in. So I get it. I mean, there's something in New York. New York is, what $1.50 is. But you can give $150. Let's just say a Visa gift card for every apartment that you can use for whatever you want. Gas, groceries, you name it, right? So we got 1,700 apartments times $1.50. 1,700 times, how much did I say? $1.50. All right, so that's 255,000. All right, 255,000. Now let's say we do this for the rest of the year. We're in June, so let's just say 6 months, right? You multiply that times 6, 1.5 million. 1.5 million for Marcy. 1.5 million, which is not a lot of money. Not a lot of money, And again, like we're calling it $1.50, right? For those of you who don't know, the $1.50 is a questionable name. If you know, you know. But for those of you who don't know what $1.50 is, if you've ever seen like the actors, Michael K. Williams? I can't remember his name. Rest in peace, brother. You're an amazing actor. I pray that your soul is at peace. I'm going to put your name and a picture of you because I'm going to show what $1.50 is. $1.50 is when you get cut on your face. Like the actor Michael K. Williams, he has a scar that goes across his face. That's called $1.50 in the street. And it's called $1.50 because it typically takes about 150 stitches to sew that up. So that's what $1.50 is. So that's using language to quote unquote appeal to young people. But another thing that we could do is, if we don't want to use that language, and we could even save a little bit of money, is something like we keep it 100, right? Obviously, keep it 100 means keep it $1. Just means just keep it real. Keep it real. Be honest. So let's switch that number from $1.50 to $100 per apartment. So you got 1,700 times 100, right? That's 170,000, right? I should have been able to do that without a calculator, but don't judge me. All right, times 6 months, $1 million, right? $1,020,000, which is nothing. And what's even better is this doesn't all have to come out of Jay's pocket or Jack Dorsey. This is the partnership with Visa. Visa could pay for this entire thing. That's nothing to Visa. That's there's more than $1 million coming in just probably from Brooklyn alone, just in interest rates. Like you get Visa, you get MasterCard, you get one of these new banks, Ally Bank, or what's the Chime or something like that. Every month for the next 6 months, Jay-Z, Jack, and Chime, or Jay-Z, Jack, and some other Chase. We're donating $100 gift cards, Visa gift cards every month for the residents of Marcy for the rest of 2022. We just want to do our part. So that's my PR. My PR background, my antennas of PR kicking in, and we're doing something good. It doesn't have to cost Jay a dime. And, you're doing something for the community. And I don't think anybody would really look down upon that. It's just, hey, like, here's just a little, it's not forever. because some people they unfortunately they get accustomed to just receiving and receiving and receiving, and then it's like when it gets cut off, it's like, hey, like, some people are going to take that and they're going to spend it however they spend it, and that's not for you to decide. You're just where your heart is at when you give it, and that's it. Other things that I would do. All right, so we're taking it to Kingsborough Community College to start, where there are college students there already. Start off by just allowing the students there. You probably have students who are going, who live in Marcy. So if you want to, provide transportation, or if you just want to allow anybody in the community to come and get it. That's why I was saying the transportation from Marcy to the school. You can do that if you want to. You can pick whoever you want to make it open to. But it's just like, hey, we're providing transportation just to Marcy, because that's where Jay's from, and we're not driving all over the city because New York traffic is there. So there's lots of ways you can kind of customize this thing. You can have just students who are at the college. That's it. No transportation, no nothing. You can have people from Marcy come to the college, cap it at 50 people, 30 people, 20 people. Doesn't matter. Just whatever the space can hold. Provide the food, which they're doing. Excuse me. You got snacks. And make it fun. Make it fun. That's one thing that I always try to do with my classrooms, and we had a ton of success. And I had other, teachers asking me for tips, which is pretty dope and just really humbling, because I was like, yo, like, I've never done this before. And this is something that just came just really naturally, and it was a blessing. Something else that I would do. Eventually, I think this is a good idea to bring to Marcy, but start off slow. Don't make Marcy the pilot. Marcy shouldn't be the pilot. You should have a refined product, something that is going on like the third or fourth iteration, and because you're going to get your feedback from that first group. But you don't want to. I don't think you want to take it to Marcy, because it's like, is that really the best place for it right now? Because the folks might not be ready for it. They may not want that. They just, some people are like, no, we don't really need that right now. It's like, not to say that it's a bad thing, but right now it's like, man, some of us are just hungry. Like, some lady was like the basketball hoop there's no hoop. Like, it's just like the pole, and there's like nothing there. Like, so some people are just like, they're not focused on that right now. It's like, I'm just trying to make it through the week. You know what I'm saying? So it's understandable why. At first I was like, why are some people like hesitant toward it? But like the more I read about it, I was like, I can kind of see it. And I'm not saying everybody in Marcy's like that. I'm sure there's some people who are like, hey, like that sounds pretty cool, But again, it's just, is it right place, right time, location. I would eventually, what I would like to do, if Jay-Z said, hey man, spend blah, blah, why can't I talk? Spend some of my money, but spend it on Marcy. In addition to, we'll clean it up. Yeah, we'll put a hoop up, all that stuff. We'll paint the basketball court. Maybe we'll paint one of those like the Nipsey Hussle murals or something like that, or just BK Legends. Just have like big and all the whoever else. Just a big. What's a collage? Mike Tyson, Michael Jordan, all types of stuff. I would bring a trade school to Marcy. That's what I would do. I would bring a trade school. Doesn't have to be something big. If there's, pick an industry. It could be cosmetology. Get a couple of barber chairs. It could be in a room this big where you have 4 chairs and you work toward a certificate. You got a small group. You're giving free haircuts to everybody. It could be a culinary program if there's a kitchen. You don't need the same kitchen that they have at, was it Del Frisco's or Ruth Chris? Like, you don't need that. You just need a stove. And like all the other stuff, like you'll pick that up, I taught cooking classes in a center that had like a regular kitchen stove, like the one I have in my apartment. And I taught thousands of young people how to cook. And we made it work. And I think that's something that's doable. If there's not a space, build a space. Get some. I mean, there's auto mechanic, body shop, like if there's some space to build something, you can build it, Since apparently the basketball court's not getting any use, build it right there. But it doesn't have to be like this massive thing. I've taught classes in very small spaces, and depending on what you want to teach, you may not need a lot, to be honest. Like, you could teach a digital marketing certificate. Give them a Chromebook, a $200 Chromebook that they get to keep, There's so many ways to teach people. I've taught classes outside, using video, using all types of stuff, using activities, using crumbled up paper and garbage cans, like all types of stuff, So you got to get creative, because education for a lot of people can be a turnoff. What do I mean by that? Well, first of all, there's certain people who think that being smart is just not cool. So, yeah, you're square, you're a nerd, And then some people are just like, I don't want to. It's like when I see I like to cook. So there are times where I want to make certain recipes, but it's like, oh, you got to grind this and then do this and do that and then cut that. And then there's like 75 ingredients. I'm just like, I don't want to do all that, man. I don't want to do all that. Like this is yesterday, I made some jerk ribs. I don't want to make jerk marinade. I don't. I'm slather this Walker's wood on and throw it in the oven. But one day I'll try it. One day, but not today. So, yeah, you just got to think, like, you got to pull these people. It's the summertime. Like, man, people trying to be out on the block. The girls got the tank tops, dudes in the shorts, and they want to go over here to get the chopped cheese, the Aki way, and then they want to go over here and be in the park, and then they want to go over here, and they want to go to Jones Beach. They want to go to Atlantic City or whatever. To get people to want to go back into a classroom in the summertime, though, I think it's a good thing. I really do. It's a tough battle, especially in New York when everybody's outside, and you want to be out there, look fresh, and that's why you got to ask yourself: is this the right group? Is it the right time? Is this the right course? Is this the right subject? There's a lot of questions that need to be asked. So I go into the trade school route. Eventually, this is a long-term play. You could partner up with so many people. Pick an automaker, Volkswagen, Toyota, GM. Have them, chip in or pay or donate cars. That's it. We can have the space. Whatever company does the thing to lift the car up, we'll get Valvoline to donate some motor oil. We get this person over here, Firestone, to donate some tires. We get these people, Pirelli or whoever. All you need is a space that can hold X amount of people and like 2 cars. You ever seen a Jiffy Lube? All you need is something maybe half that size, because you're not changing people oil. I mean, you could. That's something that could be a service that you provide. You change your oil for Marcy residents. And once a year or something like that. So you could do that. You could have cosmetology. Anything computer related, right? What's some other trades? I mean, you can go like solar panels and all that. I don't know much about that, so I don't know, But could you imagine being like the first housing project, assuming that there aren't any, to be like fully on solar, all installed by residents of Marcy Projects? I don't know, my friend. I don't know. I just talking, my friend. Me and my happy face shirt, my coffee happy face shirt. You like that? I put the link below. But I would do some more research. Like I was looking at this article on Investopedia, and I'll link to it, where it talks about some of the biggest industries that are driving GDP of New York. And this is from September of last year, so it's a few months old, but still feels pretty relevant. And the top 6 industries are financial services, which can include banking and investing, insurance, taxes, accounting, that sort of thing. And then there's healthcare, which is going to be big anywhere. And I will say this: male nurses, you are needed. If you're a guy, if you're interested in becoming a nurse, listen to me. Go. I know that, especially for, strong masculine men, like, I don't be no nurse, no, man. It's a sucker, No, listen to me. Don't let the word nurse discourage you. Obviously, when you think of a nurse, most people think of women. I would say like this: in LA, the Filipino women, they got it on lock, and they are killing it. They're making good money, real money, and they're in the helping field. It's because a lot of times, women have like that nurturing side. Not to say it's just women, but just women are more known for that. Then those dudes like, no, yeah, whatever. Meanwhile, yo, where the boss at? Yo, son, where the boss at? Yo, the hospital, son? They hiring, bro. Go get it. And I'm not saying get with your coworkers. Don't say that I told you this. But I'm just saying, if you happen to be a gentleman who enjoys being around women, they are everywhere. But I ain't saying get with your coworkers. Don't do that. Don't eat where you do that. But male nurses are in demand because one, it's just nice to have a balance, for some folks. I worked a nonprofit for like 12, 13 years, and it's heavy on the female side. Like to the point where I remember I walked into a job one day on my first day, and as soon as I was opening the door, there was a lady walking out. This was an older Asian lady. And she was surprised when she saw me. She goes, "Oh, a man." Like, oh my goodness, there's a man here. Like it's like that, And also just if you happen to be physically strong, that's a big plus because sometimes you got folks that need help getting out of bed. You go to the bathroom and they need to get over here. So just having physical strength is seen as a big plus. So just heads up, It's good money. You are needed. Like it's money. It's there for the taking. So I would do, like I said, trade schools that would go with what the industries need. So again, financial services, top 1. 2, healthcare. 3, professional services, business services. So that can include anything from a lawyer to a mechanic, marketing people. Also, I mentioned accounting and financial, but that can also fall, in professional services. Every year I pay for my taxes. Like it's not a language that I speak very well. I did my taxes once. I used an online service and I got a bag of chips as my return. That's last time I did my taxes. Never again. Retail jobs. And I know people sometimes they look down on retail jobs, but hey, man, it's a job, man. It's a job. You're making money. And I know young folks I've talked to them like, nah, man, if it ain't at least 20 an hour, 25 an hour, it's like, bro, like you have no work experience. I understand that you want to make 20, 25 an hour. Most people do not make that. And some people are like, I got to get money now. I can't wait no 2 weeks. And it's like, at some point, you remove yourself from the conversation because it's like, okay, I know where my heart was at when I was communicating with you. It's not landing. Cool. Hey, man, wish you the best. High five. Psh. And that's it, But it's okay to have a job, man. It's all right. And your first job or your second, your third job, it may not be your dream job. It's okay. But is it getting you food? Is it putting food on the table? You got clothes? Now, don't go be working a $12, $15 an hour job and then go buy a $400 Louis belt. You're free to spend your money however you want, obviously, but I'm telling you, it's just not smart. It's not smart. When you see that, let's just do the math. Let's just make the numbers simple. So let's say that belt is $400 and you're making $10 an hour. You worked an entire week for a belt. That belt costs you 40 hours worth of work. And that's $10 an hour before taxes. So it costs you more than 40 hours. And that's why you need to teach about financial literacy, the basics. You're not going to pull everybody in. That's fine. But show them that. Show them that. You worked for 5 days, 40 hours. And this time you ate, 15 meals. If you smoke cigarettes, you smoke 4 packs of cigarettes. Hopefully not. That cost you $7 a piece. You drank 4 cups of coffee. That cost you $7. And then at the end of the week, you got a belt. I'm not trying to shame you. But I'm saying, like, is that the wisest use of your money? What, to go stun on people? I'm going to tell you like this, man. I know people who got real money. Real. I ain't talking about 1 million. I ain't talking about 2. I ain't talking about 10. I ain't talking about 20. I'm talking about hundreds of millions. And not 2, not 3, not 4. More than that. And I know a bunch of people who are just in the low millions. And when I tell you, they don't look like they have money. The average millionaire drives a Toyota. I believe it's a Camry. They're dressed in khakis. Little t-shirt, like my little coffee face t-shirt. Link below. Yeah. Jewelry. My bad, that was my phone. Yeah. You gotta teach that mindset. Because you got a lot of people who, don't have a lot, and they don't want to look like they don't have a lot, But I'm telling you, I know people who have a lot, and they don't look like they have a lot. So, just keep that in mind. Other industries include manufacturing, so building stuff, and construction and all that. Construction pays really well. And educational services is number 6. So that's teachers assistants, professors, tutors, childcare workers. Yeah. So education. It's the big separator for a lot of people. So we got to make sure that we're teaching the right stuff at the right time to the right people. Because unfortunately, we can't save everybody. It sucks. But that's something that I had to learn early on when I was, wet behind the ears. I was bright-eyed, bushy-tailed. Like, we're going to save the world. Every youth that I work with is going to make it. And it was a hard lesson that I had to learn when I saw young folks, after I gave them all the answers to the test, this quote-unquote test, whatever this challenge was in their life, and they decided to do the opposite, and you see them go down that route, and it doesn't work out, and it's like, dude, I told you, like, number 11 was C. I told you it was C. Why'd you put D? Man, you see it. It's unfortunate, and you're never gonna be able to satisfy everybody. So I get that. Even like, let's say if you were to do it at the community college, you're gonna have people who say, I really gotta turn off my phone. Let's say if this were to be piloted at the community college with everything that I said, with the food and you throw in the gift cards, throw in all that, some people are going to be like, why didn't he do it for Marcy? So, you're kind of stuck between a rock and a hard place. Again, I like the idea of the class. I really do. It's just, is it the right thing to do right now for Marcy? If you want to do something for Marcy, is this what they need right now? That's my only thing. That's just my only thing. I do think we should learn more about crypto. Yeah, absolutely. I can't wait for more people to be able to talk about it in layman's terms to average Joes like me who don't really understand it. I kind of have an idea, but I don't feel super comfortable being like, yeah, so let me tell you why I think crypto is this. It's just not that clear to me at the moment. But I do own a little bit. But like I said, it's not doing well right now. So it's like, now is like, is it the time to learn about this stuff? And I'm also like, I don't mind buying stocks and stuff when times are bad, because that's when you get discounts. So I get it. But again, it's like, if I'm in the desert and I'm hungry and I'm starving, and you give me a cracker with some $100 caviar on it and a shot of vodka, I mean, thanks. I appreciate it. But it's like, man, like, oh, just like water in a bag of chips right now would be so awesome right now. Like, really. Yeah. So, but anyway, but still, I still tip my hat because they're at least trying, regardless of what, whose idea it was. Because I'm sure, Jay has a million ideas pushed in front of his face, and so does Jack. And I'm talking about Jack like he's the little homie, like he's not worth like a lot more than Jay, because he is. But I mean, it's just in this space, the hook is Jay, because people in Marcy know who Jay-Z is, and I'm not saying that they don't know who Jack is, but I'm sure a lot less people know who Jack Dorsey is. But still. I hope it works out, and I know this is the first go around for them. So you're gonna see what the wrinkles are, what the pain points are, what lands, what doesn't land. I do hope that some of these folks are able to benefit from it, and I'm always down for providing a meal for people. So I think that's dope. That's something that we used to do in the program that I used to work in as well. And you see the light bulbs go off. So I wish them well. Shout out to Marcy, Brooklyn. Shout out to who else? Memphis Bleak. Shout out to Bleak. Who else? That's all I know from Marcy. Who else I know from Brooklyn? Oh, Biggie, rest in peace, Biggie. Mike Tyson. What else? Smith and Wesson. Shout out to Tech and Steel, Cocoa Brothers. Who else? I know Most Def. Shout out to Most Def, the mighty Most. And I want to stop there because I'll just keep going. And I'll say a lot, and I'm trying to do that less. But anyway, I appreciate you watching. You know what to do if you like this video and all that stuff. Peace.